world? It's LA Prepper, and we are going to try this again because we failed the last time. Oh, Video Manager used to be on the left-hand side. You could just click it and it was there. But now you got to click your profile and go to Creator Studio. Like, it has a purchases link, but it doesn't have a Creator Studio link. If anybody knows how to customize those links on your My Channel page, let me know, because that would be really cool. And it's getting a makeover in 2019. Did not know that. I'll jump on the live in a moment here. I just want to delete my last live video. Oh, see, that's what kills me about YouTube's UI. You have an actions button that view recent. Okay, that's if you don't have anything checked. And then you have an edit button which does all this other stuff. Kind of weird, if you ask me. Let's delete that one. So what is going on, world? It has been a while since I have checked in. Oh wait, here we go. Live streaming? Nope, that's not it. See, I think I'm live streaming, but I don't know why it doesn't. Oh my god. Now, I just made a 3-minute video where I failed to do this, and I dissatisfied. And see, then you go to this page, and then all the links are sort of, then the sidebar is different. Why are you going to change the sidebar on every page? Here we go. 4 people watching. All right. This might be. And let me turn down that so we're not getting feedback on the feedback. Okay. What's up, Brian? All has been well. What's up, RG Homestead? Uncle Al? Come on, Uncle Al. It's going to take more than a little bit of work to put me under. Fires, mudslides. Let me know if the audio is bad, by the way. I think it should be good since I'm using my phone, and my phone is not a piece of garbage like my computer is. Hopefully my phone doesn't explode. In fact, I need to plug it in real quick because live streaming eats the battery. And let's hope that this masking tape holds because, my tripod, I took my tripod camera holder with me hiking, and then for some reason, I have no idea where it is. So I don't know if it fell out of my bag or if I put it somewhere and I forgot where I put it, but yeah, giant disaster, right? We have had some bad fires and mudslides, and zombies. California's full of zombies, so I don't know what I can say about that. LA apocalypse. Yeah, living in LA is kind of like living in a war zone sometimes. Half blind. Well, it's better than, completely blind, Uncle Al. Cleaning house, stocking up food. I need to stock up a little bit on food. I've been better on the water. Better for me. I only have so much room in the apartment here, but I think I'm about 40 gallons of water right now, not including the water tank, which I think is 25 gallons. So 60 gallons of water, I think, is about 2 months drinking water. That doesn't include washing dishes, doesn't include cleaning. So yeah, exactly, RG. Thank you, Die Bullfrog, for the moderator audio check. The white headphones are in the trash because they were pieces of trash. Yeah, they were kind of messed up in other ways, so I'm not 100% sure that the mic jack on my computer was giving me an issue. I thought it might have been the mic jack, but now in retrospect, I think it was much more likely the microphone on. And it was really crappy. Like normally, unless you have a really good mic, you want the mic kind of relatively close to your mouth. This one, the mic was like way the heck up, halfway on your cheek, and it just was kind of a bad spot for it, I think. Wow, Brian, that's awesome. That's really cool. If you don't mind me asking, about how much did you pay? I mean, I don't have anywhere to put one now, but for the future, about how much should someone spend on a 270, like one of those IBCs, International Beverage Container things? 6 people. Wow, I didn't know you had such a big family. You got 4 kids and a wife, huh? I mean, don't mean to pry, just curious. Or is it like 6 people like you and your friends, or like extended family that's going to come stay with you? 325. Okay. That's actually not super bad. I buy water by the gallon at the 99-cent store. Obviously, it's $1. So I'm paying $1 a gallon for storage at 325 divided by 275. That's $1.18 a gallon. So assuming you're not, even if you pay for tap water, I don't know what the tap water is. I don't know if it's like a sliding scale. I don't think I've ever, I don't know if I've ever had a water bill. Maybe once when I lived with a really stingy ass landlord who didn't want to include the water in the bill. Like I usually always include water and sewer when I've rented out to tenants, so. Oh, shaking, the zoom in and out, the camera will try to autofocus. I don't know if I can turn it off. I don't think so. So sorry about that. Oh, you mean what's shaking, like what's happening? Sorry, I thought you meant like why does your camera keep refocusing? Stupid. I'm half awake, man. Give me a break. How's the truck, JD? Is everything chilling? Is everything good? Our friend JD, he's had quite a year, but among other things that have gone on, he picked up a truck, which is pretty cool. You traded a used one for a new one? Oh, like, okay. Mark, what's up, 88 Mark 86? My fellow Californian. Well, actually, we have Di Bullfrog too, and maybe some other people who are Californians. Skid plate. Oh, nice. For so is it like the transmission skid plate, or does it go like from the front where the axles are, like back under the? Because if it's a 4x4, then the transfer case is like even more stuff you want to protect with the skid plate. Just curious, what's up with the skid plate? Only preppers would like and off-road people would ever want to talk about a skid plate. If you've ever, it's funny you mentioned it. My folks were saying they off-roaded. They went on this trail, I don't know, months ago or something, and they said like a bunch of rocks. They were just like hitting all these rocks on the underside of the car. So the car has good clearance, but you get a big enough rock, or it bounces weird, or the tires go down in a rut. Anyways, um, algae down. Yeah. So they were talking recently about bumping a bunch of stuff, and they looked under the car. It turns out there's a protective boot on the drive shaft. I think one of the drive shafts, from the transfer case to the front or the transfer case to the back. Anyways, the boot was gone, completely gone, because I think it got ripped up on a rock, and then once it had a tear, it was unbalanced, and I think it just flew itself apart down the freeway. But yeah, so skid plates are definitely useful. Definitely useful. Okay. Oh, so it's sort of like a front diagonal skid plate. Yeah, those are super nice too. Yeah, I miss off-roading. I used to have a Jeep, an old XJ, I think, the kind of four-door normal boxy looking ones, Cherokee. 2.5 liter, 5 speed. It was a good Jeep. It was gutless. It was way underpowered. I mean, if you just want to cruise around town, it got really good mileage. But for even for a normal car, definitely for a Jeep, pretty decent mileage. But yeah, the thing was just slow as snails. Put 4 people in it, even slower. Kind of sad, but you could try revving the engine, dropping gear, but you didn't have enough power in the gear anyway. So it's like, what's the point? So, JD, it's all right, JD. For a while, it's a windsurf Moran, windsurf Moran. For a while, I really didn't want to give up. I thought, I spent all this energy on it. I spent all this money on it. I think it can work. I know it will work. I know it can work. I need it needs modifications. It kind of needs, to be a boat is what it needs to be honest. That's among other things. But I know with enough MacGyvering I could get it to work. The point is I think I have a few too many things going for me in fundamental sailboat design to kind of make it a practical design. The potential's there, but even after I spend hours and hours and hours and hundreds of more dollars getting it to theoretically sail, it's really gonna sail like worse than like a $500 dinghy with a sail. Like I don't think it's gonna be a great sailboat. I think it has potential, something similar to this with maybe a lot lighter frame. Like if I could fuck around with more aluminum and carbon fiber and had a TIG torch at my house, maybe I'd be a little more into getting crazy with it. But it had potential. The main purpose of that boat was to help me get a job, and it got me a job. So, you know, mission accomplished. But yeah, I actually just renewed the Craigslist ad today, JD. So if you want a failed Trimaran project, $400 or best offer, I'll make you a special LA Prepper deal. I'll knock at least $100 off for you. I just wish I hadn't broken this piece because it's not a complete windsurfing kit without this base piece. Anyways, so what's going on in my prepping life? I mean, it's a little selfish of me to talk the whole, live stream about myself, but until you guys share what's going on in your lives via the comments, I don't have much of a choice. It's either talk about me or talk about the world, right? And, well, world's crazy. We all know the world's crazy. It's kind of life. That's why we prep. So let's see, what's the basic prepper stuff? Food, water, security, maybe community. Maybe this video is turning into a new thing. Skills, obviously, like, those quintessential videos, like five essential things you need to be a prepper. I try to avoid titles like that because I'm not really like that. I've been guilty in the past of doing, clicky bait type stuff, but 400 videos. I've made over 400 videos, or you've made over 400 videos. See, now I got to do complicated stuff like duplicate tabs. Go to... Trying to play this video twice on my computer is definitely a way to make things go bad. Damn it. Oh, I hate YouTube so much. Their UI is such a piece of garbage. Nothing would ever update. Everything would always look the same as it was. I do. Mark, I'm really sorry to hear that, brother. That's really terrible. Yeah, the fires really snuck up. I mean, there were, I want to say it was one of the more deadly California fires. That's kind of the scary part to me. The part I don't really get is, did people get boxed in? Like, these people that died, were they in their car? Were they sleeping? Like, I wonder, like what were I guess not just for the morbid fascination of it, but I wonder like how to be safer if you live in a community like that. Is it know multiple routes to get out, have multiple fire detectors, put some respirators in the car so if your car is full of smoke you can still breathe? I mean, I don't know what the fire that would be a really great video, and maybe I don't know if I even really know enough to speak intelligently on that, but how to be ready to evacuate your house in the event of a fire would be a really important video for someone to do. The state narrowed the highway from 4 lanes to 2 lanes to make room for lanes, and people burned in their cars. Fuck, dude. I really think the media kind of glossed over how horrific a lot of this stuff was. I don't remember seeing any stories about people burning their cars. That's for sure. If there's a gun killing, mass psycho thing, it's in the story in this news for weeks and months. But you have hundreds. In fact, how many people did die in the recent fires? I don't know if it was 1,000. 48 dead in Camp Fire. Yeah, I don't really, want to focus on that too much, but the windmill wished the windmill would have worked. You mean the windsurf marine? Oh, you're talking. Sorry, gotcha. So, anyways, RG's talking about getting a wind generator up and roading, and it exploded into a bunch of. Oh no! Was this a commercial bought wind generator, or did you make it yourself? I'm sorry, I haven't been watching anybody's videos. Let me see if you might have done some videos about it. Meat rabbits? Are you eating bunny rabbits, RG? Poor little bunnies. I think wind power in general is a very, very underrated source of power. It's the thing is, you're not going to power, like 10 refrigerators with a windmill unless you get a, I don't know, 3,000 watt windmill, right? But it's always consistent power. You're almost never going to live anywhere where it's never windy. You might live somewhere where there's light winds, but it's almost always going to be at least a little bit windy. And if there's any sort of weather going on, you might get a moderate amount of wind. And if you have a storm, obviously you get a lot of wind. And, I'm not an expert on windmill generation, but I would imagine that, if it's blowing 10, 20 miles an hour, at 20 miles an hour, you're going to get maybe not double the power at 10 miles an hour, but you're going to get maybe close to double the power. So you're going to, if it's really, really windy, you get more power. On a sunny day, if the panels are good alignment, you get full power. But if it's like a warmer or like the sun is stronger, you don't really get more power. A sunny day is kind of a sunny day. But that's, kind of the nice thing about wind. You have the potential upside when you get a storm. If the sun, the sun only gets so sunny. I know that's stupid, but you kind of get what I'm saying. So yeah, wind is really cool. I think it's good to be diversified in general. I mean, man, who wouldn't love to live somewhere where you had a stream where you could have like a water mill, a windmill, solar, you know, maybe decompose some manure, get some methane, who knows, get a gasifier going. Man, I would love to have a chunk of property, I tell you. So yeah, sorry about the windmill. What do you know what the cause of failure was? Was it like bad manufacturing, a bad part? Did it vibrate too much? I'm curious as an engineer, as a engineering graduate. I can't say I'm an engineer yet, but curious what happened to it. Are they taxing bikes up in the Northwest, JFM? Welcome, by the way. Okay, yeah, the 1,000 was the number of people missing. Thank you, Doug Bullfrog. Yeah, I thought there had been kind of like a lot of people missing down at. That's a little bit better, but Mark, I'm there with you on the weird stuff going on with fires. I'm definitely there with you on that. Fires in California aren't natural. Okay, it's a desert, a lot of dry stuff. Do I think it's all because we're mismanaging things and not cutting down and clearing more brush? To some extent, but not predominantly, because the amount of clearing, there's just way too much land. You can't say, oh, you need to clear more land to stop fires. Like that might prevent or mitigate some fires in some ways and keeping fire trails open or fire breaks open, stuff like that. But California is an enormous state. We can't spend all our time clearing brush across the whole state. It's just impossible. We can clear brush around areas where people live and places that are easier to get to, but you're not going to clear brush on the whole state. So, that might be part of it, but that's not like the main thing. Shake roofs. Trees also do take a longer time to burn, but yeah, I haven't been looking too much into the fire stuff as of late. Your dog's getting, take it easy, Brian. Dog's getting stir crazy. I mean, I guess the only thing I can say about the windmill is, aside from I think it's a really cool idea, is see if you can buy one from maybe a domestic manufacturer. I know they're cheaper when you get them made in China, but if you can get some kind of customer service thing going, or a more reputable company, so that if something does break, maybe you can send it back to get it repaired, or something. Because you don't want to like invest several $100s in the windmill and then have it break and be like, sorry, no refunds, tough shit. Or if you're getting the thing from China, see, China gets subsidized on their shipping. So for them to ship us a 50-pound windmill, it's not a lot of money. But for us to ship them a 50-pound windmill is an enormous amount of money. So if there's any way you can stay domestic on that, might be cool. Steam engines. Man, Uncle Al, I saw one of the coolest videos, in my opinion, I ever saw on YouTube was these guys with a giant ass, it was like a 10-foot dish, 10-foot satellite dish with like 200 mirrors on it. The mirrors were all, I don't know, like 6x6, 8x8 or something. And they had it pointed at a 5-gallon water container, boiling water. It was like a Stirling, not like a Stirling engine, it was a concentrated solar power engine. So the water boiled, fed into a old steam, it was either an air compressor, I think it was a steam pump. It might have been an air compressor that they were like running backwards, wired to run backwards and generate power or something. But I think it was a steam engine, pretty sure it was a steam engine. And they were powering this chop saw with it. And I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. So yeah. I mean, you're probably talking about a coal-powered steam engine, but I'm more a fan of solar-powered steam. Yeah, controlling fires is tough. I bet bike people were pissed. The state's never going to force everyone into mass transit. There's just not the capacity for it. And it's not, people aren't going to do it. I mean, if I could ride my bike 10 minutes to a bus stop and then go somewhere and ride another 10 minutes to work, and the bus didn't take, and it was like an express route, maybe. In fact, just out of curiosity, maybe I'll try to look up some routes right now. But a standard bus route is like an hour and a half to go from my house to where I work, which is, 20 miles away. It's not, or like 22 miles away. It's not a ridiculous distance. So as long as the bus takes 3 times longer, and it's $5 a day to drive the bus, I'm saving maybe a little bit on gas, but not an enormous amount. Maybe I should check if the bus has Wi-Fi. I could live stream on the bus, right? But I don't see the state having the capacity to force us all into mass transit. They might make, the big problem is we're not making the freeways bigger because, inflation's kind of a bitch in a lot of different ways. I have this sort of gut sense that things are a lot cheaper, back in the day. Everything, not just stuff commercially, but stuff on the government level. If the government was going to put freeways across the country right now, it would be ludicrously expensive. But we did it back then because we dollar was a little bit strong. Even though we're buying stuff domestically, the inflation kind of affects everyone. The dollar starts getting worth less. Prices of everything start going up. It's not, necessarily a closed loop system. Directions. So I think things like building freeways was a little more feasible based on the amount of money a government might be collecting from the taxpayers or bonds or however they want to do it. But these days, trying to expand a freeway, you don't have the land. You'd have to eminent domain miles and miles and miles of property, and it's really not very feasible. Now you could go vertical, and that's why I think Boring Company is doing kind of interesting stuff, trying to dig tunnels faster, because tunnels are actually a lot easier to dig than it is to put a double-decker freeway somewhere. Oh, you bought a windmill made in America and they wanted a business. Wow, that sucks. That's really unfortunate. Well, keep at it, Art. Keep at it, RG. Archimedes laser. Yep. Sun is really powerful. Yeah, France is rounding up teens. I saw some ridiculous number, 89,000 troops. Like, let me see if I can find that article. That's a ridiculous amount of troops. 90,000 troops thereabouts. Yeah, France, Reuters.com. France to deploy 8,900 security personnel instead of Saturday protests. 89, did I say 8,900? 89,000. I'll put the link up for y'all. That is a stupid amount of troops. That shows you how much the government, respects freedom to protest. Now, I know they're kind of getting violent and doing crazy shit, but that's a lot of fucking troops, man. God damn. You all notice You will notice I'm taking a day off and enjoying some Jose Cuervo because I am an adult. I've been of drinking age for a number of years, but I don't drink too much, which is good because this makes me sleepy. Well, exactly, Mark. I mean, that's exactly the thing. You know, aside from some of the major laws that are passed, and even then, you know, when your legislators and representatives make laws, when our elected officials make laws, they don't necessarily poll the public. Not to say that every law that's made is some, you know, insidious plan to ruin our lives, although I think a lot of them are. Whether it's take more of our money, try to control us, you know, I can't believe that people think being conservative is such an evil, awful thing. I mean, at the root of it, I don't want government to control me. I'd prefer them not make me go broke, you know, taxing me. And if we could maintain the freedoms allowed to us in the Constitution, that'd be great. Like I don't feel like that's a lot to ask for. You know, maybe enforce our laws. So don't control me, don't take all my money. Let's try to keep America similar to what it was founded like. And maybe if we can enforce the thousands and thousands of laws we already have, we don't need to be changing shit constantly. Government is just constantly changing, trying to fuck up our lives more and more and more. That's why I want less government. I don't think all government's evil. I think more often than not, government tends to bumble around. Yeah, bureaucrats are the type of people that want to outlaw guns, but they live in a gated facility with guards because, you know, because we all know why people live in gated communities. Will our cars all be electric in 20 years? No. Will a lot more electric cars be out there? Absolutely. I mean, look what happened with the hybrids. You can take that same question 10, 15 years ago about hybrids. Say, will all our cars be hybrids? No. Will we have a lot of hybrid cars? Yeah. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Now, at the same time, electric cars aren't as carbon neutral as people think they are. If you're getting dirty electricity, if you're making the car in a dirty way, um, you know, all those cars have plastic and materials and metals and things that require processing. So every time you ask for a new product to be made, you're saying, I want to pollute the environment because I need this new product. And yeah, my Lexus might, pollute whatever it pollutes, getting 20 miles per gallon. But how many years can I drive for that pollution to equal the new car you just bought? That argument doesn't really last forever, but it is something to consider. There are costs of production, environmental costs. Oh, RG, you are killing me. I can remember when gas was $1.20 a gallon. In fact, I paid $3.19 a gallon the other day, and yeah, I paid $3.19 the other day, and I was like, wow, that's the cheapest I've paid in years. Years. Okay, I don't think I've paid under $3 for several years. Maybe Mark, you can help me out, or Die Bullfrog, you can help me with some history on when gas was $3 in California. But in fact, let me look that up right now. Last 10 years. U.S. average gas prices by year, but I don't want the U.S. average, I want California's average. Well, the national average was $2.14 in 2016, but I know Californians weren't paying that. Anyways. If you remember 50 years ago or earlier, a household could make it with one income. Yeah, absolutely. And now it takes two incomes. Exactly. Exactly. You know, it's inflation is a bitch. Yeah, JFM on the talking about energy production, it's very possible that could be an issue. Half the population in Cali already living in shit hits the fan lifestyles. Yeah, but they're so entertained with their cell phones and their Netflix that they don't think about how living paycheck to paycheck is really kind of a shitty plan. Jay, France had that. Yeah, it doesn't say it says security personnel. I mean, are they hiring? Like, it makes you wonder. It kind of makes you wonder about that. Oh, right, Bullfrog? Or, I mean, Jay? Let them eat cake. Yeah. Um, RG, you hit the nail on the head, you know? And it's not just immigration, it's immigration of people that have no desire to integrate. It used to be that you came to America and you kind of became American. You went to France and you sort of became France. You went to Britain, you kind of became British. You might have been from India or China or Australia or whatever, and you still kept a little bit of that culture with you, predominantly adopting your new culture, right? Australians didn't come to Australia and want everything to be different. India people from India didn't try to like outlaw, beef in Britain or right? So, or like Hindi people that respect beef, I believe. So it's not, or cows. I don't think they respect beef because beef is after you process it. But anyways, now the migrants slash refugees that we're getting basically have no interest. It's kind of like your loser friend who wants to move in with you and be a slob, your loser unemployed friend who wants to move in with you and be a slob and just mooch off you. And you're hardworking and you try to keep your house tidy, and they're just like, well, it's hard to find a job, man. See you later. Can I eat the rest of your fucking pizza rolls? Right? Something like that. We're not getting a bunch of, they're not getting, and we're not necessarily getting. America gets probably the best immigrants in the country in general, but I'm just saying that the desire to come here draws, I think, some of the higher quality immigrants. I'm not saying on average our immigrants are higher quality. I'm just saying we have the potential to draw, nurses and doctors and lawyers because they know they'll get a job here eventually. But a lot of the migrants we're seeing now just kind of want to come and mooch and get free stuff and not, live in a better country, not have to worry about their security as much. A lot of these third world countries, I think it's kind of hard for an American, especially someone like me who lives in a nicer area. Some of these third world countries are like fucking war zones. It's like Mad Max out there. There might be some police, there might be some military, but you can get assaulted, stabbed in the street, and people just might fucking keep walking. There's not going to be cameras. There's not going to be the cops are there in 30 seconds. Not going to be like bystanders helping you out. You just get stabbed and you're stabbed. People shitting in the street, hygiene, disease. Like it's better to be poor in France than it is to have a crappy job in like, some third world country, right? So anyways, I think we're kind of, it's not that immigration is an issue, it's that just kind of letting in any and all trash that feels like coming into your country is like not really a great plan. I'm all for helping other countries get better. I don't, I really don't look down on the third world countries. They're kind of, I mean, some of it's their own choosing, but it's definitely fucked. Damn, the scroll. Let me see. I'm a little behind on the. Welcome to Open Borders. They have a big paramilitary, elected officials, selected officials. Yeah. Here, elect this person that I chose for you to elect. That's how our elections work. Oh, okay. Foreign Legion. Government can do three things: declare a war, determine a budget, make a law. They can't physically change an issue, so they make a law. Yeah, but they also enforce the law, don't they? If you consider the police government, the police are kind of category. I consider the sheriff more. I kind of consider the police, like, even though they're part of the or like amended state constitutions, a little less official than perhaps they do. Tacitus. I love old Greek. I think he's an old Greek guy, right? Like Cicero. Oh my God, Cicero has some amazing quotes. You can just tell that these issues that we deal with are not necessarily brand new. Roman. He was Roman. Okay. Publius Cornelius Tacitus, a senator and historian of the Roman Empire. You had such cool names. I don't know why I think all those names are cool. I kind of want to give my kid a Roman name like that, or old Greek name, but Roman, I guess, old Roman name. Latin name. But yeah, no one would get it. Oh, RG, don't even remind me. I know. This ammo business is ridiculous. I mean, granted, I own firearms. I'm not worried about passing the background check, but just, ugh. I mean, if the government watched any of my YouTube videos, they'd pretty much know all the firearms that I own, and they know what I do with them. I talk about hunting, and I go to the range. That's what I do with my firearms, you know? Otherwise, they sit locked in my closet. I almost wish, you could log in to find your, like, national threat level and, you know, send them updates. Like, hey guys, still not fucking up, still, still trying to be a good citizen, paying my taxes, all my bills on time, you know. If you ever need help, just let me know. Like, I wish you could get, like, +1s to your profile. I mean, China's got the system. I wonder if that system's going to come to California. We probably have an unofficial system like that, but Jay's talking about green stuff being made. 54 cents a gallon, Jay. Okay, add $1, LA. Former president of Uruguay. Yeah, see, Uruguay, I think, has the unique advantage of being, like, mostly Uruguayan. I'm not sure Uruguay is a place that people are like, oh, I'm going to go retire in Uruguay, or I want to move to Uruguay because the economy is booming. It's sort of like New Zealand. Like, most of the people there are from there, unless maybe they get some job offer or something. But New Zealand isn't necessarily getting, like, hordes and hordes of immigrants per se. You got swatted, Die Bullfrog. What are you talking about? Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Jay. It's whose responsibility is it to fix your country? Yours. I mean, it's easy for us to say because we didn't have to deal with the revolution. I mean, we really didn't. We're very fortunate that, we had a revolution. But I'm kind of a firm believer that the government will basically turn into a giant pile of dog shit, if it isn't already, if we don't continue to voice our support for those that would try to preserve our way of life, So So just as it's their responsibility to fix their country, it's our responsibility to keep our country in good health. Yeah, right, Dyed Bullfrog? And that's a really interesting comparison. You know, you can buy pot but no ammo. So what does that tell you about the government? They want you to be high on your couch eating Cheetos and pizza rather than being an informed citizen that can defend themselves. That's kind of a scary thought. Why is it that people with guns tell you, oh, you shouldn't have guns? We can have all the guns we want, fully automatic, you know, flashbangs, grenades, whatever. Military, police, we can have whatever we feel like. But you, private citizen, if you walk around with a gun, you're a felon. I'll put you in jail, call you a felon. You'll spend time in prison, probably come out completely psychologically fucked after being in prison. All because you wanted to have what we have. But you can't have what we have. You can't carry around what we have because you might be crazy. You can own it, you can go shoot it, but if you walk around with it, that makes you a threat. Like, what? How did me leaving the house with it on my hip turn me into a psycho? Still the same person, I'm just out of the house now. Damn, Dyed Bullfrog, and you're telling me you want me to move out there? That's the nice thing about LA, there's enough crazy people to keep the authorities busy. Jay, you're hilarious. Telling you, if you could make gunpowder out of hemp oil, you know. Yeah, I mean, you really. What's up, Will? Gray man, you really don't have anyone to speak Latin to if you speak Latin, sadly. Interesting, Will. I did not know that. By the way, fun fact, my dad was born in New Zealand. Nationally, I'm kind of half New Zealand. I mean, I'm an American citizen. I was born here, but my mom is an American citizen too. I'm not an anchor baby. Although I sort of am because my mom was pregnant with me in Scotland. So I basically am an anchor baby in the sense that I don't. I mean, I think I would have been like dual citizenship as an American if I was born in Scotland, but as the son of an American citizen. But my dad didn't want me to born in Scotland. At least that's what he claims. I don't know. I think what he really meant to say was, I don't want to fucking live in Scotland. And he used me as an excuse to move back to America. I'm going to ask him about it at Christmas and be like, did you really use me as an excuse? Like, did you really not want me to be born in Scotland? Wouldn't I have been an American citizen anyways? But anyways. You know, Jay, that would be quite an interesting. I mean, it's sort of going to happen anyways because there's always the next person. You know, even if you're a progressive Democrat in a progressive Democrat country or state or district or whatever, there's still going to be the next guy who's even more progressive and more democratic and more better for the future. So, but I get what you're saying. Like, wouldn't it be ironic if, you know, they all turned conservative? That's pretty much it, Will. That's why they want to distract you so that they can make all these ridiculous laws about ammo and guns and taxes and you know, Paris is rioting in part over this gas tax, right? California had a gas tax, nobody fucking rioted. So I give them a little bit of credit for that. Now, granted, I'm not really about to go on the street and throw rocks at the riot police, you know, but, and that's kind of, therein lies the problem, is that if you're a loser and you're lazy, like a lot of Americans are, you don't feel like protesting. And if you have your shit together and you have a life, You don't want to get arrested. So it's like, who protests? People who care enough and or don't really have their shit together, but care about politics. They don't have a lot to lose and they care about politics. I'm not saying people that have stuff to lose never protest, but not as often. Yeah, I mean, JD, I don't even want to waste energy on the gun stuff right now. Not because I don't think it's worth it, but because I know most of the people watch my channel pretty much agree on that kind of thing. Well, I appreciate the fact that he didn't want me wearing a kilt, right? Uh-oh, my video. What's going on? We good? Wow, 51 minutes and my phone has still not exploded. I gotta stop at an hour because I don't want my phone to blow up. Yeah, no, I think you were clear, Jay. You're saying like the irony of them letting the people in and then the people vote them out. But I guess my counterpoint is that that would happen the very next election cycle anyways, because the other people running are going to say, well, I'll let even more people in and I'll give you even more benefits. That's the really sick thing about the progressives to me is that why look, conservatives don't want people to have shitty lives. They want people to have good lives, be free, prosperous, be able to keep the money that they make and invest in themselves, in their future, in their education. This idea that conservatives like want everyone's life to be crap and want to keep everything for themselves is bullshit. But the way that the liberals and the left wants to just take everything from us and give it all away, it's just insane. I mean, taxes only work when you can enforce them. If you were in some little community, little town, like, a couple hundred years ago, and somebody came through, like you might have to pay a tax to the king or to a lord, but that kind of made sense because the king was like physically protecting your land from outside invaders. I mean, if our tax like went straight to military and border security, nothing else, fine. But our taxes don't go to that. Our taxes go to way too many other things. Christy. I think, when did you change your last name, Christy? Did you get married? Or is that just a short version of your name? I thought it was Christy Castrejo. Is this Castro business? Or are you being super top secret now to just blow your secret identity? Antifa can protest with guns and block the streets. Yeah, I'm not really worried about Antifa. All I know is if anyone in a black mask ever tries to assault me, then I'll defend myself, or tries to assault a fellow American, I would help defend them. Oh, gotcha, Christy. Yeah, Antifa really makes me sick. It's just I don't, especially in places like Portland where the cops are like really, really liberal and they really let Antifa go crazy. That's what's nice about cell phones. Cell phones are kind of like the great equalizer. If you're conservative and you act like a douche, it's going to be on YouTube. If you're a liberal or super, radical liberal like Antifa and you act like a douchebag, it's going to be on YouTube. So, sorry, Christy. Well, I only blew your cover to 7 people. So hopefully, and nobody's going to watch this live stream anyway, Christy. It's all right. I should be a little more cautious with that stuff. I apologize. If you want, Christy, I'll list this live stream as a private video and or I'll delete it and no one will ever watch it. So if you want, I'm serious. I do respect people's anonymity. But anyways, by the way, Christy, if your location, if your domicile is not top secret, how's that going? Because that's like a new thing for you. Yeah, Jay. No, and I definitely don't mean to dismiss them or say that they're not worthy of paying attention to. It's just that, like, what does an ordinary citizen do to combat Antifa? I guess is what I'm saying. Need to form like an anti-Antifa defense league or something, AADL, and go around and like try to insert moles into Antifa groups. That would be fascinating work, I have to admit. It would be very fascinating. But yeah, be like one of those things where you have to like do something fucked up so the group trusts you so you can get to the higher level and then really find out what's going on. But I don't even know what you would do with that information. Like, what if you were in an Antifa meeting? Like, what if I joined the local, group as like an informant, right, for the general public, and I found out they were going to protest on Sunday and they said they were going to be violent. If I called the cops and said, hey, these guys are going to protest on Sunday, they might be violent, I don't even know if they would send a car there, you know? Come on, Diet Bullfrog. Don't be talking about, you can't be joking about physical stuff like that. I love you, Diet Bullfrog, but you can't be joking about that stuff on my live stream. I can't, I don't want record of it, or I mean, there's already a record of it, but I don't want to encourage that. Uh, it's all it's all good, Uncle Al. I know how you are, Uncle Al, and I know it's all right, Uncle Al. I'm just saying, like, you know you know what I mean. It's like what you were saying about the kid getting swatted for the fucking bow and arrow, right? Like that's the reason that I'm like super cautious about stuff like that. Yeah, and that's kind of the problem, Jay, is that beyond peaceably protesting and writing your congressman and trying to gain support through the community, to actually change the way it's hard to inspire change. That kind of goes to the bottom line of why I even have this YouTube channel at all. It's because it's something I can do. I can connect with you all. I can connect with new people. I can share an idea about freedom, about being prepared, about being a better citizen. Whatever it is, I can share it with the world. See you later, JD. Chop some wood. Look at you, Mr. Paul Bunyan. But that's kind of something I've really thought about the last few years. I guess you could volunteer for political candidates that you support. You go, do Habitat for Humanity. You go feed some hungry people at the homeless shelter or something. But like, how do you really affect the direction of society in a significant way when you're kind of a nobody? Yeah, and Tifa's a joke. I mean, not a joke in the sense that they're harmless, but they're just so ridiculous. Dorky homemade bow and arrow. Lord. I have wanted to make one, in fact, a bow and arrow, I need to ask Santa for something. I mean, I don't have to, but I have the option of asking Santa for something for Christmas, and I have considered. I wonder if I can move this camera a little closer. I have considered a bow and arrow. I don't know. I don't know how much I would use it or shoot that. I'm not like super confident. I don't know if I would ever be confident enough to want to hunt with one, but target practice wise, it would definitely be fun. Wow, my phone is getting just a little hot. Oh, I wouldn't doubt that Antifa is not a completely self-motivated organization. Would not doubt it at all. So, let's talk about 2019. Well, let's talk 2018 first. Then we'll talk about 2019. I don't even know if I need to make a list. I don't think I'm actually not even terrible. I'm not even terrible with a bow and arrow. But as far as the confidence of getting that pie plate shot at, I guess you just have to be a lot closer. It makes it a little more challenging. But that is kind of cool. And I don't know. It's just kind of like big and bulky. I mean, even the Ceodai bullfrog. I don't know. Maybe I would fall in love with hunting with a bow and arrow. Maybe I would. Who knows? But I do want to go shoot with a bow and arrow with my pops. Did that last Christmas, and it was a lot of fun. Tons of fun, actually. All right, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I was going to talk about 2018 and 2019. I guess the gist of my thoughts were, what have I done in 2018? Yeah, right, Will? And what have I done? Like, where am I going in 2019? 2018 was mostly finish school, get a job, and kind of keep trying to, improve my security situation, improve my food, water situation. 2019 should potentially be a little more of a skills year, especially considering I only have so much space here. Granted, I could, keep 90 days of food and water in my apartment, but yeah, I'd say I mean, I could probably get most of the arrow, not all of the arrows, but like at least 75% of the arrows in a pie plate at 30 yards. But of course, you want kind of 100% in that pie plate, like you're going for a deer or something at whatever your range is. So I'm not getting better. I'm not terrible with the bow and arrow, but I'm not, I'm not 100% like where I need to be. So yeah, 2019, looking at motorcycles, still looking at getting a dual sport. Well, I know, Jay, but the goal is to be, more like if I shot 100 arrows, I would want more than 90 or 95 of them to be in a pie plate at a given range if I'm going to shoot at that range. I don't want 40 or 50 of them to be within the pie plate. I want to be like way, way up there. So there's a very, very low chance of, an inhumane shot or a deer running God knows where, or other animal. But yeah, so 2019, going to be looking at some skill stuff. Keep saying I'm going to be getting outdoors. Now I actually have every Saturday off and I got some time off. So hopefully December I can go on a little hike and get some outdoor footage. Still haven't bought the hunting license. Not really ready to get through all that business right now. Crossbows are cool. Well, let me finish the 2019 stuff and I'll comment on crossbows. Short comment though, yeah, I like crossbows. They're kind of cool. But yeah, 2019 motorcycle, a little bit more outdoor stuff. Plan to get into the hunting. Thing is, I don't, the stuff that's open all season like coyote, jackrabbit, boar, I'm not, damn, Christy. That's right. Christy is our resident archer. I'm surprised. You must have been biting your tongue the whole time. Like, yeah, Christy's our resident archer. She's pretty vicious with a bow and arrow. So did you process that whole elk, Christy, to eat it and like freeze all the meat, if you don't mind me asking? Like, what happened to the animal? That's a big ass animal. Damn. Shelter building. Let me give you my thoughts on shelter building. I guess, what's up, Grayman? Wait, didn't I? I guess it's not super high on my list of priorities right now because you're only going to need to build a shelter if you're sort of like, I guess in the wilderness. I mean, maybe in an urban environment, building a shelter is still useful, but my plan is definitely way more bug in than bug out. So, and I think my phone is getting just a little bit tired of this business. But I had help from my family to process the elk, freeze the meat in a deep freezer back in Elko, Nevada. Cool. Cool. What's up, Nigel? I'm afraid you're kind of coming on near the end of this live stream because my phone is, I've been doing this on my phone and it's taxing the processor a little bit. I guess Nigel's from across the pond with that aloe all. Are you like from Liverpool or something? Did you grow up, did you know Ringo Starr in high school? Oh, yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm gonna carry a tarp with me and, have like a couple space blankets and ways to make a fire, even though, it would be just like a Californian to get stuck overnight in the wilderness, make a fire, and then get like fined for making a fire because you can't make a fire. You know? Um, Scotland. Oh, you're where my friend is. My friend's in Edinburgh right now, my best friend. I did start out in Scotland. Depending on whether or not you believe life happens after birth or after conception. I like to think after conception. I'm here as a result of conception, so I like to think I was alive when I was 4 cells instead of 2 cells. But yeah, the stranded thing is important. I mean, keeping warm would be, that's where the shelter thing is kind of like important. But even if you just roll yourself up like a burrito in a tarp, you're still going to be all right. The rain is where it gets kind of bitchy, rain and the wind. They do make some pretty nice little one-man tents. I mean, honestly, the thing is, let me tell you a top secret about a tent. Tents are cold as fuck. Okay? There, the secret's out. You're not going to be like ludicrously warmer in a tent. If it's 40 degrees outside, the tent might be, even with you in it, the tent's still going to be like maybe 45. Maybe, I doubt it's going to get up to 50 because they're paper thin. The walls, the nylon's like paper thin. You get almost no insulation from that. You're going to block a little bit of the wind, and most of the heat that you generate is going to radiate out through the goddamn tent anyways. So, tent, in my opinions, are good for wind and rain. Not really a big temperature difference. Temperature is going to come from your clothing and like blankets, sleeping bags, stuff like that. So, probably preaching to the choir, but not to say I don't think a tent's a good idea, but it's not like the magic solution necessarily. Trust me, I've been plenty cold as fuck in a tent. Tents are not like magic barriers to cold. All right, well, I think I'm gonna take off, guys and gal. But I'm glad that my phone. Yeah, tarp's more adaptable for sure. I think my phone's gonna die if I keep trying to go on. But I'm glad I was able to make this work. Have a little bit of a live session. Oh yeah, cars are a little bit warmer than a tent for sure. I mean, I'm 6'3", so yeah, sleeping in a car. I can sleep in the back of my car with the seats folded down. It's not too bad. But yeah, so thanks for stopping by, y'all. I promise 2019 we're gonna have more videos. Yeah, maybe you do, Christy. I definitely reset my phone, although I think I do have it. Feel free to shoot me a text or email, Christy, if you. And I know we haven't chatted in a while. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, people. Feel free to get in touch with me at laprepping@gmail.com. That's laprepping@gmail.com. I can promise I don't check my email every day, but now that I'm trying to get a little bit more into the YouTube stuff, I will try to check it a little more frequently. And until next time, like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep prepping. See you next time, people.